Okay, do you mind if I record that? Is that okay?
No problem.
No problem. Okay, and is it prescripted in the Torah that only the state of Israel can exist after the coming of the Messiah?
Correct.
Okay, what about the status of the current state of Israel? How do you view it, or from a religious perspective?
Religious perspective, they're against our belief, against our Torah, against our God. They don't have the right to exist.
Okay,
But
go ahead, sorry.
we don't have the right to murder them, but they don't have the right to exist.
Okay, one other question. How do you see the status of the Palestinians and the Arabs in the West Bank and the Judea, Samaria, and Palestine? Are they genuine citizens of the area, or
I can't answer you because I'm not familiar in this issue. But if you want to ask another question, I would be glad to answer.
No, but the reason I'm asking because those people are the indigenous population of Palestine before the creation of the state of Israel. So are you necessarily against their yes? Okay. Yes. Sorry, I'm. Okay, thank you. My name is Abdul Rahman. I'm originally from Jordan, and I don't work for any organization whatsoever, but I find this moment historic. I passed by from the office and I saw the signs, and I found them a little bit different, having seen that great congregation of Jews here. So my question, do you mind if I...
Yeah, do you want a press release?
I saw the press release, a press
Okay.
release. But is this historic for me, to be in the middle of all that? Yeah. Okay. So what I thought is to ask you, what is I already understood from your colleague the position, your convictions with respect to the creation of the state of Israel.
You want basically first the statement, why are we here today?
To stop the recruitment of Jews into the army for military service.
Which is just a part of the persecution of the Zionist government on all their years to trying to get the Orthodox Jews into their melting pot and assimilate them and to indoctrinate them with their philosophies. We, as Torah true Jews living in Israel for hundreds upon hundreds of years, have lived in peace amongst all the nations residing in Israel. And all that we want in all our years was only to sanctify the name of God and live in peace, as we were told by Prophet Jeremiah when we went out to exile by divine oath, to live in peace amongst all the nations where we reside in, including any kind of nation. The Torah prohibits waging any war, any bloodshed. So therefore, that immoral army, we are forbidden to serve in that army, which is part that we are forbidden to have a state of our own. And as true Jews, what we are obliged is to live in peace among all humans and among all the nations. And this is what we had been always taught and trained by our sages, and that legacy we carry on. That's what the Central Rabbinical Congress had called us out here today to cry out for the world that Prime Minister Netanyahu, who pretends to talk in the name of Jewish people, in the name of Jewish nation, pretends to protect Jewish people and Jewish nation, is the worst destruction for Judaism, the worst destruction for world humanity and mankind. Okay. So therefore we plead to the United Nations to step up for human rights.
Okay. May I ask you, how do you see, how do you assess the status of the Palestinian population in Israel and in Palestine altogether?
Well, as I said before, we are peace for all mankind and for all humans and respect to anyone, everywhere. We had lived in peace amongst all the Arab nations for hundreds upon hundreds of years since we had been spread in exile, and we always actually prayed for the peace of all those governments. So we always pray for the peace of all humanity and mankind, whoever, whichever background, is they're all God's creatures.
Okay, and do you foresee is this movement toward not only the peace movement, but this sort of religious motive, does it have a lot of growing support in Israel, given the fact that Israel is more likely mostly Likud, conservative, right wing, or how do you see that?
Well, there is a silent majority of the Orthodox Jewry, not just in Jerusalem, all throughout Israel, but definitely concentrated in Jerusalem and all over throughout the United States, all over throughout the world, that carry and have that same philosophy, but their voice is being choked by the media and by the Zionist PR that makes the noise, so this voice shall not be heard.
Okay, so
wait. I have to ask you a question. Christians, Jews,
I'm sorry,
Muslims.
can you introduce
I'm
yourself?
nobody. I'm Christians, Jews, and
Can
Muslims.
you introduce yourself? What's your-
My name is Michael Poole. I'm from a small town in Rhode Island. I'm nobody. I'm just here hanging out. Christians, Jews, Muslims, all subscribe to the Old Testament as the base of their religion. Outside of that, what I kind of scratch my head on is why is it that we fight and do all the bad things that we do to each other outside of that? Logically, it doesn't make any sense to me. We're so similar in so many ways.
Perfect point. Well, we as Torah true Jews, all throughout the years, never ever were involved in any bloodshed or in any persecution of any nation, of anybody. Just the opposite. We are forbidden till divine, by divine oath, till divine providence will, divine redemption, a final redemption by the coming of the Messiah, to do any of that. And that exactly shows the example why we oppose the so-called state of Israel, because they have their nationalistic aspirations, which creates all of that. Jews have lived amongst all the Arab nations in peace all the years, way more embedded than we've lived in Europe among the other nations.
I
But
think
wherever
that
we lived,
most people want to get along. That's the thing. It's like the 90,
so what we are here to
95%
reach
want
out
to get
to the
along.
world to understand the difference. Jews are not Zionists, the Zionists are not Jews. They can never be united. Be clear. Be clear. Jews are not Zionists. Zionists are not Jews. They can never be united. Though the true
fascinating
Jews
point.
are not Zionists, Zionists are not Jews. Very clear.
okay.
Yeah, it drives me nuts that people just can't just focus on the
And as
similarities
you see
that we
today,
have.
thousands of Jews, so this is just a fraction of followers of Central Rabbinical Congress, just the US and Canada, but all throughout the world. Check out the websites of Natura Carta, World Torah True Jews. You'll see the right philosophy of our sages that we follow all the years. This was all the same. We lived in peace amongst all the nations. And that's what we pray, and that's what we
Well, I
wish.
want to thank you for allowing
Thanks
me to
so
get
much for
along
stopping
with you in
by.
this whole
Thank
thing
you very
right
much.
here.
I'm also
I
pleased
can't
to
thank
talk
you
to
enough.
you. This is really an honor
Yeah.
to see a lot of people
Okay.
that here
Anytime
that
you want,
endorse
you can
peace.
call me personally, anything.
I have your card.
That's the website. This is my personal number.
Okay, you
Thank
should,
you very
should seek to get in touch with BBC World, Al Jazeera English.
We have
Talk
Al
to
Jazeera.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.